Hey everyone, I want to welcome you to this first session of our homecoming, Learning Swahili for Economic and Cultural Empowerment. We have a lot of things to talk about this today, but this is a historical moment in the sense that Africa is changing. And as it changes, so are the Africans of the diaspora as we try to connect to our roots back home. You know that we are part of a people that were dispersed a long time ago. And we have had so many things that have happened to us away from home. Some have been away from home for over almost 400 years, and others just came recently. But in every moment, we are still united as a people because Africa is our motherland. And so as we get into these sessions, you want to remember that African Union is what now brings us together. And with the African Union, they have put a lot of things together, and as an update, there are many things happening. And one of the things I'll talk about as an update in terms of what's happening with the AU, trying to bring us into a people together, is the creation of African Free Trade Zone. Now, 30 countries have already approved that zone, and we have the headquarters already in Ghana, and that is working. And so there are so many things that are being put in place for us to be part of what is happening on the continent. And we have had education. Many of us are educated, so Africa is not lacking education. Africa is not lacking politics, even though we might talk about government being weak. But yet now we are talking about economic empowerment and rebuilding of our cultural identity so that we can become one. And part of that building of the cultural identity and the connection back home is learning the Kiswahili language. And apart from giving an update on what's happening with the AU on the continent, we as Region 6, we have a number of things that are happening as well. Many organizations that are coming together to try to address the needs of Africa, so many of them. And I want to applaud every organization, every entity, every country in the African diaspora that is trying to bring about a development and economic empowerment of Africa. And so today we are going to begin. First of all, every Wednesday I'll be giving you the best scholarships that are being offered, academic scholarships that are for African international students, and they're being offered from all over the world. And so I'll be bringing you every week relevant scholarships that African students can apply for from anywhere in Africa, in any part of the world, because those scholarships are available. And these are fully funded scholarships. So as we begin, we are going to start with our PowerPoint so that we can begin with our pledge. And I want you to read that pledge with me as we begin, okay? So we go to the PowerPoint right now. Okay. Okay, so this is Swahili for economic and cultural empowerment. And we have economics that we're trying to build, and cultural empowerment means that we're being connected back to our roots. And part of roots definition starts with the learning of Kiswahili as our mother tongue, as our language, official language of Africa. Okay, so we go to the pledge, and this is what we are, our collective persuasion and pledge. And you can read it with me if you want it. But we, the people of Africa and the diaspora, united in diversity, are deeply cautious of our history, filled with a deep appreciation to the generations of our Pan-Africanists who have handed down to us an Africa with exemplary success in the fight against slavery, colonialism, and apartheid. Do commit ourselves to African Union Agenda 2063 for the realization of an Africa united in one government, with one currency, one federal government, an integrated transport system, one passport, one military command, into an Africa Free Trade Zone, an African official language, open borders with visaless travel across Africa, an enabling education curriculum that gives our children power and jobs, efficient control and management of our natural resources and human resources, and a leadership devoid of corruption. So help us God. And this is our pledge as we begin this lesson. This is what we become. So make sure that this becomes part of your daily pledge as you think about Africa. And these are things that we're committed for. Okay, next. Okay, why learn Kiswahili? Some people have asked that question. That the African diaspora, we learn Swahili because the African diaspora is designated as Region 6. Therefore, Kiswahili is our official language, since Kiswahili is the official language of African Union. It also allows us, as the Africans of the diaspora, to collectively be culturally connected to our roots, and our roots are there as Africans. And know that in Africans of the diaspora have created things like Kwanzaa, or they have taken on African names. When you go to places, Jamaica, you have Rastafarianism as going back as a connection. When you go to Brazil, you have a lot of things that have been done to connect us to Africa. The only thing missing is that connecting language, and that is why we study Kiswahili. Okay, and it is an opportunity also for economic and labor and political and cultural connection and development. Also serves as a common medium of communication for Africans away from all these other languages that have been given to us or imposed upon us. And is also allowing us, as we have provided a free trade zone, to be able to communicate across with each other. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so we have Swahili is spoken by over 250 million people. And it has about the 16 million speak the normal language as a mother tongue. And it is the language of Africa. And it's a language that's going to help us connect together, as a people, and as we're connected in terms of trade, communication, academics as well, because in countries like Tanzania, Kiswahili is used as an academic language as well. They have already developed that. And recently, South Africa has also embraced Kiswahili as part of its curriculum in all its schools, and also in terms of as an official language. So it is becoming the future of Africa. If we want to be connected to Africa, we're going to have to learn this language, which empowers us and makes us unique. We have the English and French and Portuguese and all these other languages that have been imposed upon us. But Kiswahili is our language, and is spoken across most of Africa, and it is coming in your country and in your neighborhood. The train has already left. Has already left the train. So we have to learn the language. So we are going to have a number of lessons as we begin today. And so tune in, and let's begin with our lesson with vowels. Okay, unlike English, which has 20 vowels, 20 different vowels. Some are long, short, silent, and so forth. And they have 20 consonants, of course, which include the vowels as well. Kiswahili has only 5 vowels, only 5, and 30 consonants. Okay, so that's great news. We don't have to be struggling through the 20 vowels. Okay, and so as we begin, we want to start with the vowels. If we learn to pronounce the vowels, we shall be able to pronounce Kiswahili words. And I think that goes across most of African countries as well, because most of our pronunciation of our consonants and vowels is about the same. And so we have 5 vowels, and that is A, E, Y, O, W. Now remember, it is A, E, Y, O. Some people want to put the I as E. It is as E. It is not E. It is ye. Okay. So we have R as in R or car. We have E, I mean A as in N and end. We have ye as ye or yin, and never E. So we don't pronounce it as E, but as E. We have O as in O, of course, as O, and then woo as in woo or wool. So these are the vowels we have, okay? And when we go to the next slide, we can now pronounce them together. So you can follow with me before we take a short break. We are connected. A, E, O, U. A, E, O, U. E, A, O, U, A. Yi, O, E, A, Wu. Wu, O, Yi, E, A, Wu, O, Wu, E. So if you go fast, of course, it will be A, E, O, U, E, A, O, U, A, Yi, O, E, A, Wu, Wu, O, Yi, E, A, Wu, O, Wu, E. Okay, so keep practicing that, and then we are going to connect. Remember the sounding of those vowels, because we're going to come back now and try to connect these vowels to the chosen consonants that we're going to go through today. But remember, you have to be able to pronounce the vowel in Swahili in order to pronounce the consonant or to pronounce any word. So some people want to rush and learn some of the phrases like Hakuna Matata, and then you hear all the different ways they are pronouncing Hakuna Merada. No, we are going to learn so that you are able to authentically pronounce those vowels. Okay, so we're going to take a short break, and then we'll come back and talk about the consonants. Very good, very good. We are back to our lesson, and what you saw is my book, so that if you want to dive deeper into the Kiswahili language, there are many books out there, but this is my book, and I've made it very, very friendly, and I'll let you know how you can get it so that you can follow along as we go. So from the vowels, remember now you have the vowels, I think, for you who know Kiswahili. This is like kindergarten, but there are so many millions of Africans over the diaspora and on the continent of Africa who don't know these vowels. So it's best for us to go in, especially the youth who have not been connected to the languages back home. This is our official language. You can learn it, and you can be proud that you're an African. So let's move on to the consonants on the next slide. So the Kiswahili, as I said, Kiswahili consonants don't stand alone. They are connected to the vowels. So there's no sound of a Swahili consonant without a vowel. So if you want to pronounce the consonant, you must sound the vowel in that consonant for that consonant to become eligible. And also, we don't have Q or X in the Kiswahili language. So you don't have to worry about those tongue twisters of X and Q and that kind of stuff. So today we are going to look at 6 consonants out of the 30, and I've chosen these 6 as a beginning because they're very easy to pronounce, and you shall see how that happens. Okay, so let's move on to the consonant. So we have those consonants, and you are going to pronounce with me these consonants because that's how they are. So the first consonant is ba, which means you put a B and A together and it becomes ba. And you have be, you have you have B, you have bo, you have boo, and that's the conjugation of that. So it's ba, be, bi, bo, boo. And then the next one is cha, which is cha, C-A is cha, okay, as in chat. Then you have che, okay, which is as in chest or whatever. And then chi, and then you have cho, then you have chu, okay. So let's say it's ba, be, bi, bo, boo, cha, che, chi, cho, chu. And then you have da, as in English would be the D, but it's da, de, and it's di, do, do. And then you have fa, fe, fi, fo, fu. And the 5th one is ga, ge, gi, go, gu. And the 6th vowel is ha, he, he, ho, hu. And these are very simple to pronounce, especially when you have the vowel in place. It becomes very, very easy. So you have ba, and then you have cha, then you have da, then you have fa, you have ga, and you have ha. So we can take a little time and practice those together, okay, as we go along. But the most important thing is that you must pronounce the vowel. If you don't pronounce the vowel, you are going to start pronouncing the words differently. And that is what makes Swahili so important. You don't have many different vowels to think about. There are only those, the a, e, o, u. And when you combine that vowel with a consonant, you get the sound. Okay, so we can move on to the next slide, and let's now go together. So we're gonna pronounce this together. That's ba, be, bi, bo, boo. And that is cha, che, chi, cho, chu. Da, de, di, do, do. Fa, fe, fi, fo, fu. Ga, ge, gi, go, gu. Ha, he, he, ho, hu. And that becomes, actually, you can put that on your audio. And when you output on the audio, it becomes very nice to hear, because ba, baby, bo, boo, cha, che, chi, cho, chu, ga, ge, gi, go, gu, da, de, di, do, do, fa, fe, fi, fo, fu, ha, he, he, ho, hu. Okay, it sounds very rhythmic and very nice, especially when you're driving and traveling. You can practice, and as you practice these vowels, these pronunciations, it's going to be very easy when now we get to putting those verbs together. And you have heard of the words from the movie The Lion King that says Hakuna Matata. Okay, so now you can go and pronounce that word very well, Hakuna Matata. And when you hear the word jambo, which means hello, it's ja a ma ba o. So jambo, you begin to understand and be able to pronounce like an authentic Kiswahili speaker. So I'm not going to take you very far in this lesson because we want it to be an introduction lesson to you, but to understand that it is imperative upon us as Africans of the diaspora and all the other Africans from the continent who don't know Kiswahili yet to begin learning the language, because this is where we are going as a future. If we want economic liberation, we want political liberation, we want academic liberation. And with this academic liberation, in terms of academic, we have already that. We already are educated, overeducated. And even here in the US, so when you go to England, Australia, you go anywhere in the world, Africans are some of the most educated people. We have education, we have academics. But now with that liberation has taken place because we understand we have taken on the Western education that was given to us, of course, by the colonial people. We have taken it actually and even beaten them at their own game. Now, it is upon us to develop the economic power, because we already have the political power. We have 55 countries already organized. So we're no longer looking for political power, but rather the strengthening of those institutions that we have already created so that they can become serving our people. And as African Union begins to allow us to be integrated, then issues that are happening in most of Africa, the wars, the civil unrest that is taking place, the corruption that is taking place, and our young people, who are Africa is almost 60% under 35, and so our young people are grumbling without work, and yet have an education. We had people who have a degree, and it takes them almost 10 years to find a job for the education they went to school for. It means there's a lot that we need to do, which means we need economic power. And in terms of economics, that is where the institutions like International Institute for Economic and Family Development has set as a goal to create 1 million jobs on the continent by year 2030. And that is in concert with what other organizations are doing. There's so many organizations that are doing the same thing. Now, as we begin to create an office here of African Union Region 6, these things are going to become fruitful and beneficial to us. Remember that the African Union has an embassy in Washington, D.C. It's called the African Union Embassy. You can reach out to them as well as our main diplomats to help us understand how we can get connected to the African Union. So as we agitate for that unity, as we begin to work towards developing that understanding, and we take away the plight of our people, because even though Africa as a union right now, when you talk about the integration of Africa and creating a free trade zone, if all the 55 countries are together, right now only have 30 that have signed but have not approved. I mean, have approved and signed, and we have about 25 that haven't approved, but they have signed. Okay, now, if that happens, remember, Africa will be 1.3 billion people, 1.3 billion people market. There's a lot of market. Remember that Africa is not poor. If it was poor, you don't have all these Western countries and the Chinese all coming to Africa. It is because there's plenty of resources, just that we have not been able to harness our resources to benefit our people. And as we Africans of the diaspora, the things we have learned, instead of being proud and looking down upon our leaders in Africa, but find ways we can organize and be economically powerful enough to say, this is what we present, we bring on the table. And this is why we want you leaders of Africa to hear us right now, from the African diaspora, because we can do ABCD. We have called them names, and we know that some of them have deserved it maybe, but we can no longer call names because that call naming is over. But even if you don't have money, you don't have resources as a person, the best way you can get involved right now is to learn this free language. It is all over the place, Kiswahili. That will connect us. as others begin to organize who have the means and resources to bring us together, whether from the African American, whether you're Canadian American, whether you're Brazilian American, whether you are Colombian American, all our brothers of the Caribbean, Jamaica, Antigua, Bahamas, Trinidad, St. Lucius, Virgin Islands, Haiti, all those political entities that are already organized in the diaspora. We must come together. Whether you are British African, or German African, or French African, Australian African, whether you're Middle Eastern, whatever you are, any part of the world, we need to come together and join to make this happen. And so I'm inviting you again on next Wednesday. I see that some people have asked where how you can subscribe to the scholarships, especially the young people that are looking for scholarships. I'll give you the information on the website where you can subscribe, and every week you are going to get over 50 different scholarships that are being offered across the world. And the choice is yours, but the trick is this: you have to apply. If you don't apply, you never get it. It does not cost you a penny to apply. It just takes you getting on the computer and looking at the application and looking at the deadlines and looking at the requirements and applying, both for undergraduate, master's level, and for PhDs. And so they're being offered all over the world, whether it is USA, Canada, Brazil, even China, even Switzerland is offering, and Australia, England. Every country in the world is offering African students, or those who want to continue with their education, free and fully paid scholarships. And I'll give you the website so that you can show. So I want to thank you for showing up tonight, and we are going to this has been enabled by our cooperation with the International Institute for Family Development, and also for The Voice with the Chairman Kojo. There are many things that are happening, especially with The Voice, that you want to know about, and very soon you're going to get that information, see the excitement of what is keeping us Africans now on the top of our toes, trying to make things happen and become self-reliant, not allow people to build for us, cook for us, and teach us, and do all those things, and then turn around and oppress us. It's time for liberation, and it's time for redefinition. It is time for our deliverance. And I thank you so much, and God bless you. And we are going to come back next Wednesday, same time, the same things, okay? And keep practicing those vowels and consonants, because next week you're gonna be having homework, okay? God bless you, and let's go to our commercial.